Okay, today we'll continue discussing the exercises in the workbook. I think today we have page 37, exercise 62. Indicate whether the interrogative word at X can be what, which, who, whom, or whose. If two answers are possible, give them both. Number one. Yes. If you had to live alone on a desert island, what interrogative word can we use here instead of X? Hmm? Yes? What interrogative word can we use here? What, which, who, whom, or whose?
Doctor, what would?
Malak?
Yes, doctor.
Mhm.
What would you take with you?
Yes. What would you take with you? Yes. Next. Next.
Doctor, I think
Yes.
which instrument?
Then, if you had to choose between a flute and a violin, which instrument? Yes. Because we have two things here, flute and violin. So use which. But if we have more than two, we use what? Okay. Next.
I think who was?
Who? Who was it? That's it.
No.
Who was it? That's it. If you use who, say who was he? That's it, not it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, then we say
What was?
what was it?
Is that serious?
What was it? What was it? That's it. Or which was it? That's it. To be or not to be. Next.
يعني الأضبط which, right?
Which, yes. Which. Next.
هنا في عنا possessive الأس الملكية.
Shakespeare's plays have you read? Can we use here?
Which?
Which, yes. Which of Shakespeare's plays have you read? Next.
Which of the characters?
Yes, which of the characters in the War and Peace do you find the most interesting? Yes, next.
What modern novels
Yes,
have you read recently?
What, or we can use which. What modern novel or which modern novel have you read recently?
Both.
Next.
If that is not your say, then what is it?
What is it? It
Yeah.
is not your essay, here possessive. So we say
Who's it?
Whose?
Which?
Yes, whose is it?
Who's?
Whose is it? Yes. No, if a positive here, we say.
Yeah.
If that is not your essay, then whose is it? شوي بس. الو. السلام عليكم. يعافيك يا مان. تأخرت تدخل على الامتحان يعني؟ ليش تأخرتي؟ ذنبك مش ذنبنا احنا، عرفتي؟ خطأك كان. والله ما عنديش تليفون انا، تليفون مش قلت لي اعطيش تليفون لحد، عرفتي؟ تليفون اصلا مش معي. ودي لها ايميل. خلاص شوف يعني تواصلوا مع بعضكم وشوفوا حلوها مع الدكتور تبعكم. اوكي. يجي تعالوا شوف اذا كانت موجوده هون واحكي معها. اوكي. السلام عليكم. اوكي. Even if that is not your essay, then whose is it? Yes. Next. Next. لما.
What man could possibly behave like that?
Yes. What man could possibly behave like that? Next.
Can I, doctor?
Yes. Yes. أسلم.
Whom have I the honor of addressing?
What's the word here?
Whom.
Whom? Yes. Whom have I the honor of addressing? Yes. Next. Yes, Lama.
To whom and to which department should my application be submitted?
Yes, then to who and to which department? Yes, should my application be submitted? Okay, exercise 63. Indicate whether the dash in each of the sentences below can be replaced by each or every. If either word is acceptable, give them both. It's number one. Number one.
Doctor, can I?
Yes. Yeah.
Number one, every man in the crowd raised his hand.
Every man or
each man.
Each man, yes. Then
Any
every
point.
man or each man, yes. Next. Lama.
There were police on each side of the square.
Or
On
every,
each.
Every or each, yes. There were police on every or each side of the square. Next. Next.
Each side of the street.
Yes. Each or every.
Both.
قصدك number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Crowd lined.
Each side of the street.
Each side of the street, yes. Each, not every, because we have two sides only. Each side of the street. Next.
Each one of the two men was 6 feet tall.
Yes, then each one of the two men was 6 feet tall. Next.
Everyone in the team
Yes,
received
everyone
a prize.
in the team. Yes, everyone in the team, or we say each one in the team. Every or each.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next.
Each.
Each, yes.
Received.
Yes, each received. Better, yes. Next.
Every.
Yeah. Yes. Anfal.
The term every 2 years.
مش سامع صوتك.
Every.
The ceremony will be repeated.
many.
Yes.
Every 2
Every. Yes.
years.
صوتك بقطع. Every 2 years. Yes. Every 2 years. Next. Yes. Okay.
Each, doctor. Each.
Which number of 8? Yes, each. Yes, each.
Nine each كمان.
9 they.
Each.
Each or every?
Each.
Each, yes.
Each.
The last one?
Every looking. Each.
Each, yes. They were each looking, yes. Now exercise 64. Universal and partial pronouns and determinants. Choose one item from the left-hand column to replace each dash in the sentences below. Number 1. Yes. لما
I haven't read all of this book, but I have read some of it. At least I know something about the subject.
Good. Then I haven't read all this book, but I have read some of it. At least I know something about the subject. Next. Next. Yes. لما
I haven't read any of last 4 chapters yet, so I know nothing about them.
Yes,
I am
I
afraid.
haven't. Yes, I haven't read anything of the last 4 chapters yet, so I know nothing about them. Yes. Next. Next.
Doctor, can
Yeah.
I?
Yes, Malak.
It is a big book, but we are expected to read all during the year. All?
To read it all. To read it all.
To read.
It's a big book, but we are expected to read it, and the book all during the year. We can't leave. Can't leave what here? Anything out. We cannot leave anything out. Next.
I can't find my pen yet.
I can't find my pen يت مش موجودة مع الخيارات هي. I can't find my pen. Anywhere. يعني you're looking for your pen in the places, but you cannot find your pen anywhere.
Yes.
I've looked.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, yes. I looked everywhere. Next. But it must be
Somewhere.
somewhere, yes. And where haven't you looked?
Now here.
Nowhere. Nowhere, yes. Next. Has smoking?
Anything.
Anything, yes. To do with the cancer?
Some people.
Some people, yes, believe.
Something has nothing
Has
to do.
nothing to do with the cancer at all. Others feel that it might have
something to do.
Something to do with it.
With it.
But they don't know what. Next. Yes. Is. I'm going to question is what? Is any of the increase due to better diagnosis? Yes. Some of it undoubtedly is. One could not pretend that we can use here none of it is or all of it is. None or all. Next. Some doctors insist that everyone should give up smoking. Do you think that anyone need give it up? I think that some people ought to, but not everyone. Yes. Next. Here are two keys. Well, either of them fit. Yes. No.
Neither
of them will. Yes. There is in fact
no
key. No key, yes. The last one. Every man in the village assembled to hear the verdict.
They all
came, yes. And the verdict was announced
to them all.
Them all, yes. To them all. Okay, exercise 65.
Doctor, but can you repeat number 5? But it must
5.
be. Yes.
But it must be somewhere. Where haven't you looked? Nowhere.
Thank you.
Okay, exercise 65. Identify the non-assertive component in each of the following sentences. Number 1. Non-assertive. Which is non-assertive in these sentences? Number 1. What's non-assertive in this in number 1? There isn't anything we can do. طبعا هنا قلنا الاسيرتيف بكون ايش عاده؟ نون اسيرتيف بكون نيجاتيف. اوكي؟ اذا non assertive component here is isn't anything. Isn't anything. Number 2. We have scarcely any money left. Where is an assertive component in this sentence? Scarcely. If you need any help, please let me know.
If you need any.
Any, yes, any. I do not believe your interaction will make any difference.
Do not.
Do not.
Believe.
Yes, do not to any. We
Yes.
seldom have any occasion for using this expensive machinery.
Seldom.
Seldom, yes. Is there anyone here who speaks Arabic?
Anyone.
Anyone.
Anyone, yes. Before we go any further, we must agree on procedure.
Any.
Any further, yes. Is there anywhere we can go?
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Unless you have anything more to say, I shall
Anything.
consider the matter closely.
Anything?
Anything, yes. A curfew was imposed in attempts to prevent any further violence.
Any further?
Any.
Any, yes, further violence. لاحظنا ان الاسيرتيف بكون نيجاتيف او طبعا question with any او بكون الفيرس فريكونسي زي scarcely وسيلدم اوكي واني then questions with any او sentences with any النيجاتيف والادفيرس فريكونسي like scarcely like seldom etc. اوكي.
هلا مثلا
نعم.
هلا مثلا بنمبر 5 مش اخترنا السلدم اللي هي بتكون نون assertive. طب هلا اني اوكيجن هون ما بتيجي
برضو اني كمان وانا مع اني كمان اوكي. اذا سلدم واني
تمام.
يعني السلدم معناته يعني زي النيجاتيف سلدم اوكي زي سكيرسلي. اوكي يس. طبعا اكسرسايز 66 ما بدنا ناخذه ننتقل للادجكتيفز اند adverbs. Now exercise 67. Indicate by adjective if the final word of the sentence is an adjective or by adverb if it's an adverb. Number 1. Number 1. The sun burnt the grass quickly. What about the final word here, quickly? Is it an adjective or adverb? Adjective or adverb? Quickly. Quickly, you don't know quickly?
Adverb.
Adverb, yes. Next. It burned the grass black. What about black? Yeah. Huh? Is it adjective or adverb?
Adjective, because all
Adjective.
colors adjective.
Yes, it's an adjective. He drove his employees hard. Hard.
Adjective.
Adverb, yes. He drove some of
Adverb.
them mad.
Adjective.
Adjective. I find this unlikely.
Adverb.
Hmm?
Adverb.
Adverb. I find this very unlikely.
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. We found the people friendly.
Adjective.
Adjective. This made everyone late. Late.
Adjective.
This made everyone late. Yes, adjective. I have made his acquaintance lately.
Adverb.
Adverb. The doctor soon made the patient well. What about well here? Made the patient well.
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. We can make breakfast early.
Adverb.
Adverb. What made my bed so hard?
Adjective.
Adjective. We shall leave the house early. Early.
Adverb.
Adverb, yes. We shall leave the room empty.
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. I can paint your whole pink. Pink.
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. I can paint this all fast.
Adverb.
Adverb. Pull the rope hard.
Adjective.
Adverb.
Pull the rope hard. Adverb. Pull the rope tight.
Adjective.
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 He turned the corner well.
Adverb.
Adverb. The heat turned the milk sour.
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. And you must wipe the wind screen clear. Clear.
Adjective.
Adjective, yes, good.
Adjective.
Now, exercise 68, adjective phrases. Exercise 68, rewrite the following sentence replacing the relative clause in each by an adjective phrase, remembering that each or that such a phrase can be realized by a single word. Number one. Then we have to rewrite these sentences by replacing the relative clause by an adjective phrase. For example, will all students who are married please raise their hands? And this is ايش فيها relative له who are married please. Now we should replace it by ايش by an adjective phrase. What can we say here? Will all
Student merit.
what?
Student merit.
No. We say here with all married students, not students married. Okay? Even with all married students, please raise their hands. Next.
Will all
ليش يعني فانا بقطع صوتك؟ شو عندك الميكروفون مش مظبوط؟ مش مظبوط الميكروفون. ما سمعتش شيء منك. الميكروفون تبعك مقطع قاعد.
انت
ضبط الميكروفون.
yes.
With all students.
Interested.
Married. Sorry, interested. Then we will with all students interested. Write their names on this list. With all students interested. Yes. Next. Next. I don't wish to know the names of the people. I don't wish to know the names of the people involved. Involved. Next. All the women. انفال صوتك مش مظبوط، في عندك شيء بالميكروفون ما بصل لي شيء. Yes. All the women. All the women.
Women present.
Yes. Then all the women present locked up in alarm. Next. Yes, we should call. We should call what?
Nearest doctor.
The nearest doctor, yes. Then we should call the nearest doctor. مظبوط. 6. We must find. We must find what?
Doctor concerned.
Yes. Then we must find the doctor concerned. Next. What are what are
seats.
أمثال كرون تبعك ما بوصل صوتك ما بوصل الميكروفون مش مظبوط. اوكي بقطع. طيب.
The best seats.
What are ايش؟ What are يا أنفال. What are
The best seats available.
Yes, إذن what are the best seats available? Yes. What are the best seats available? Next.
Doctor, can I?
Yes.
Can you recommend it something is really interesting?
Is really? Can you recommend something?
Interesting?
Really interesting. Not is. هنا is بصير جملة إيش؟ لأنه فيها verb. Can you?
تمام.
You can't use another verb. لأنه هنا
Yeah.
really interesting. تعرف إيش؟ بتعمل modifying لل something. Okay.
تمام.
إذا can recommend something really interesting. Next. Next. I have I have what?
A problem.
في عندك much more complicated. And how can we say this? I have
Much more complicated.
a much more complicated problem. إذا I have a much more complicated problem. Next. Alama.
I have much more complicated than that.
Much more complicated what?
Than that.
لا شو هي complicated what؟ يعني complicated adjective بدها noun. I
Problem.
have a much more complicated what? Problem. ما هي problem that's much more complicated.
دكتور يعني هون
نعمل adjective
بنحذف
ها؟
than. هون نشطب.
I have a much more complicated problem إيش؟ than that. Than that. Okay. Next. Yes. Next. والله ظبط الميكروفون يا انفال، مش صوتك مش ظابط، بقطع بعد بقطع ما مش إذا هي number 11 the road that is best to take is the A40. Yes.
The best road to take.
Yes. إذا the best road to take. Yes. The best road to take is the A40. Okay. Next. Number 12. The people who are most difficult to understand are often members of one's own family. How can we do this? Then we can say the people most difficult to understand are often members of one's family. أو بنقدر نقول the people most difficult to understand. أو نقول إيش؟ the most difficult people to understand. في عندنا two ways. We can say the people most difficult to understand, or we say the most difficult people to understand. Okay, إذا في عندنا two ways. The people most difficult or the most difficult people. The people most difficult or the most difficult people to understand. Next. I have never met a person who was so difficult to understand as my husband. How can we do this? I have
A person so difficult.
I have never met a person so difficult to understand. أو نقول I have never met so difficult a person to understand. Okay. إذا في عندنا two ways. I have never met a person so difficult to understand as my husband. أو نقول I have never met so difficult a person to understand. Okay. So a difficult person, so difficult a person to understand. Next.
You couldn't
أيوة.
find anyone more difficult.
Yes, إذن you couldn't find anyone more difficult. Yes.
You couldn't find anyone difficult.
You couldn't find anyone more difficult than me. Okay, next, or the last one.
What I would like to do is to
What I would like to do is
really
to go somewhere
really cool.
really quiet. Yes, really quiet.
What I would like to do, go somewhere.
Yes, really quiet. Then what I would like to do is to go somewhere really quiet. Really quiet. Okay. Exercise 69. Adjectives as a head of noun phrase. Replace the phrase underlined by a noun phrase with an adjective as a head when such replacement is permissible. Number one. إذن الادجكتيف يكون head هون بالجملة. How can we make this? Robin Hood robbed rich people is in order to pay those who were poor. كيف نحول على يكون adjective head؟
Robin Hood
Robin Hood robbed. طبعا هون الهيد عندنا rich people اللي هي الناون people. إذا بنخلي الهيد كadjective كيف بنقول؟ Robin Hood robbed the rich. Already صارت ايش head adjective. In order to pay ايش؟
The rich
The
is
poor.
ordered to buy
The poor. Okay. In order to pay the poor. إذا the rich و the poor عبارة عن adjective head. Okay. Next. Yes. The injured people were conveyed in ambulances to the general hospital. How can we make the adjective head as a head here? What can we say? What can we say? The adjective as a head. Where's the adjective in this sentence? Huh? Where is the adjective in this sentence? Injured were people. Injured or people? Injured. Then what do we say here?
The injured.
The injured. Then the injured were conveyed in ambulances to the general hospital. Okay. The injured. هون injured صارت ايش؟ head adjective. Okay. Head adjective. Next.
The injured.
هنا في عنا man. طبعا هنا بنستخدم ذا بتكون عندنا plural. طبعا عندنا the people and injured people plural بنقول the injured. في عندنا the injured man. هاي singular. Can we say the injured? Huh?
No.
No. Then what should you say? What should we say? The injured man. لأنه the it's what? It's usually used with the plural. Okay? من هون عندنا man singular. So we say the injured man.
Yeah.
We can't say the injured لحالها. Okay? Next. If what? Where is the adjective in this sentence? Where is the adjective? Or what's the adjective in this sentence?
Blind.
Blind. Then what do we say here? If what?
If those are blind.
Those ما احنا قلنا بنستخدم البلايند كهيد adjective كهيد adjective. يعني بنستخدمه لحاله بس. إذا what do we say?
If the blind.
The blind, yes. إذا if the blind lead إيش؟ نفس الشيء.
The blind.
The blind. إذا if the blind lead the blind, both will fall into the ditch. If the blind lead the blind. ونحن the blind the blind. Next. He sat there as silent as if he were a dumb or a dumb man, we say here.
بتضلها مثل ما هي a dumb
Yes.
man, right?
Yes, as a dumb man. As if he were A dumb man, yes, a dumb man. Next. Does anyone know the dead man's name? Is it correct?
I think it is correct.
Correct, yes. Then we say, does anyone know the dead man's name?
Yes.
Next.
The dead.
The dead. Then always speak well of the dead.
Yes.
Of the dead. وأنا plural طبعا of the dead. Next.
Yeah. Of the live. Number 8.
I fear
I fear he's no longer.
he is no longer in the land of.
The live.
No, we can't say live here. Of the living. يعني living people. Okay. Of the living.
The living.
Yes, in the hand of the living. Next. Fear of
the unknown.
The unknown, yes. Fear of the unknown often makes people conservative. Next, nothing is so certain to happen as the unexpected. As the unexpected. Yes. Next. These seats are reserved for
the men.
No. who have been disabled.
Okay.
For
The
what?
disabled?
For the disabled, yes, for the disabled.
I didn't
Next.
see it.
The English country gentleman galloping after a fox. What is unspeakable? What can we use here? What is unspeakable?
The
unspeakable. Yes. The unspeakable in full pursuit of something he cannot eat.
The uneatable?
Uneatable, yes. We are in full pursuit of the uneatable. مظبوط, yes. Next. Wise men. What do we see here?
The wise?
The wise, yes, are often confirmed by
the foolish.
a foolish man. هون نحطش ذا لأنه عندنا singular man. A foolish man. Next. The nurse sleeps sweetly, hired to watch
the sick?
The sick, yes. The last one, have you heard the latest news? Is it correct?
I think it is correct.
Yes, it's correct. Yes. Okay, that's enough for today. بنكمل طبعا يوم الأربعاء. طلعنا كم تمرين. خلصهم يوم الأربعاء. Okay. See you then.
See you. يعطيك العافية دكتور.
عافيك.